I'm the founder of Nix Code, which is a no-code mobile app development software. And just kind of want to reiterate the goal of this session is to not only learn how to build a no-code app, which if you're going to do it today, you're going to walk away with an actual product, but to better understand mobile product development through no-code. So as we're learning to build, I also want to drop some major hints on how to build a product, whether you're working on a SaaS, any type of technical product. There's some key things and lessons learned that I'm going to share with you along the way. You have a sheet on a chair, so while I'm going through the presentation, if you kind of want to just pick an app the Black Tech Week template you want to work with, get registered. It's like a minute process. We're going to do it all together too later, but if you kind of want to get that out the way, feel free. The Black Tech Week Wi-Fi is available. So you can do the get started if you want to do that while we're going through the process. So why no code? One, it allows for quick iteration. Build, test, learn, repeat. User friendly, so usually no code is made to attract people who need easier ways of developing, kind of like Canva made it easier to use than using Adobe. Where WordPress made things easier than doing websites from scratch, and the same thing applies to app development. Traditional app development can run $50,000 plus and beyond, but when you go no code, it allows you to save more money, at least on definitely your first product. I don't like to say it's the cheaper option because sometimes going no code can require a bunch of different tools to put together, and that too can be a lot of subscriptions. So it may not be, checks you're writing to developers, but you may have a little overhead by maintaining a lot of subscriptions to build your app. However, the money is saved. The other piece you're saving is time. Traditional app development can take a long time, especially if you're doing it natively, which means, okay, I got to build my Android, I got to build my iPhone version. Those things take time. Whereas no code, usually you can build React natively, which means it's a hybrid of iPhone essentials, Android essentials to work together, so you can build it once and publish it once. No code allows you to validate fast. So if you do have the idea that, hey, I'm gonna go get an engineer, a dev team once I get some capital and build this out, don't go out and spend money for something you have not proved a concept for. Save time and save money going the no-code route to at least prove that you have the right user, you can start getting revenue, and take that validation to an investor or your next product development roadmap milestone and get that done. Although in abstract, no-code is for non-technical people. However, by working with non-technical people for years, that does not mean just no coding. Non-technical is also, so people just like, I can't even get like workflow building, logical thinking, logical programming. It's still very technical, even if you're not coding. So I tell people all the time, it's not even about building a product that's technical, it's even the mindset that's required, the logical thinking. And so this is why we're going to talk about what's the best no-code solution for you to use. So although I own a no-code SaaS company, I am not biased to other products. I use all these competitors. I think everybody does something really good. And I can go on about the list of no-code tools. Some are very disciplined in niches like fitness or community or streaming apps. These ones, ideally, you can build a lot of broader things. For instance, Bubble. You may be familiar with that. It's a no-code web software. However, they are more so building web-based products. So if you are looking to build a web-based SaaS product, like an Airbnb site or like a Fiverr marketplace, Bubble's really great for that type of tool. They don't quite necessarily get you on the App Store, but they're great for web-based apps. Then there's Adalo. Adalo's approach is all about being database driven. So if you're ever, we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper, but if you know that your idea is really sent on collecting information and storing it and sending out reports via a database, that may be a good fit. And then you have Glide. Glide uses Google Sheets to build web apps, and they recently allow you to go to Android, but not quite iOS. Reason why is because Apple does not play about their privacy and security, and Google Drive and Google Sheets really lack, you can be breached real easy at information, and they lack that security infrastructure. And then you have a product like mine, which is Nix Code, which our approach is more pre-created code for mobile apps, which means there are little small packages of code called plugins that you can use to build your app. So diving deep into kind of the pros and cons of each tool, you have Bubble, and how Bubble works is you can draw elements and then you piece them together in workflow. So when someone clicks this, when the page does this, I want them to do these things. Sometimes that works for people. However, this can take a long time if you've never built a product before. The other thing too is that if you don't do something right, you're left spending time debugging issues to fix to make the product work. And that's still too, like the index quota is maxed out. You're probably like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, what mini quota is maxed out. So there's still that technical barrier there, although interface-wise, it's easier to create something. And they do have a template marketplace that you can leverage. Then there's Adalo. So this is what we mean by databases. You can have user information collected and say, hey, I want to know what school you go to, what kind of user you are, where you're from. And that way I can then give you different pages of like directories based on the information you provided to me. This is about building relationships across data. Sometimes that's really important to people, as if you're looking to build database relationships. Then you have Glide, which uses the same thing as databases, but in the form of spreadsheets. This allows you to use spreadsheets for input, but also have those spreadsheets to report out data and make it available in other areas of the app for people to select things from that have been collected from a form. And then you have Nixcode, where it's really just like a marketplace of plugins. Is everyone familiar with like Squarespace, Wix, or WordPress? Yeah, right? So for Nixcode, that's the approach that we took for our product development. We admire the success Shopify and Squarespace and WordPress has done with empowering people who aren't technical to create websites. And people feel familiar, like I want to pick a template and a theme, I just want to search for the exact thing I want my app to do, and I want to just change my settings, brand it, and customize it. And that's exactly the approach that we took. So there's no databases, there's no workflow building, there's no logical programming technically, and that's the approach for no code. So depending on one, the ability you have, the skill set you have, and the interest and the needs of your product, you can determine the best fit mobile app for your development tool. So today, we're actually going to be building a Black Tech Week mobile app. The concept of the app, I'm going to just kind of demo it for you. There's an emulator here of these two templates, but essentially, let's assume that Black Tech Week was hybrid. It was for people who are virtually and here. So you have that concept one. But two, let's say Black Tech Week said, hey, we spent a lot of effort getting people into this room, but we leave here and we never connect again, right? So if they had an app, we could stay connected. We could keep building relationship with investors, with people who we found in our industries. Then they as well can continue to market to us and hopefully pre-sell to us to come back again, get feedback surveys. Sponsors could better give out digital swag bags to those and have a broader reach. So you have people here, but you have a more opportunity to reach people a lot further. So that's the opportunity that we have by building this tool. So some of the components in here, of course, is like, finding communities to chat with people, being matched with sessions, seeing, all the speakers, reading their bios, being able to, learn more about them. And if they were investors, maybe have that listing, being able to have a way to build those relationships, of course, and then give the conference some feedback. There's also a way to continue to, if we had digital swag bags, things of that sort. So a little bit beyond the common Black Tech Week app they have, just a little bit more interactive and deep to engage users. So when we think about the app that we have here, the Black Tech Week that we're going to build, I want you to think of your File Explorer. When you open your computer, if you're ever looking for a document, you go to File Explorer and you probably have something called My Documents, okay? In My Documents, you have either some folders or files. When you go to the files, that's it. It opens the actual content, right? But if you have a folder, it takes you to additional content. Either you're gonna have more folders or files. It's the same way with app development that we took the approach. That is just like a File Explorer. So we're building today, have that in your mind that you're just nesting things within a folder. So that example could be, your main folder is the conference homepage. It's the first thing the user accesses when they open the app. Within it, either you're gonna have a folder of more information, or you're gonna take them exactly right to the content. And it can be a combination of both. So from the homepage, they can go straight to the session videos, or go to a folder of speakers, and within that folder is the actual content of speaker information. That makes sense? I feel, okay, cool. Make sure everybody's comfortable with that. So reason why we do this is because changing user behavior is super hard. And a lot of other no-code platforms out there, they want to teach you how to build workflows and build databases. And if you've never done it before, it's a learning curve for people. That's why I say it's still technical in a sense. But if you're ever doing product development or your own idea, it's something I actually picked up from watching a lot of Shark Tank, is, and as investors always say, is it's hard when you have to change someone's normal behavior. That's why when I see people, a lot of people want to do app development, they want to do swipe features or things people are already used to navigating an app that way. Trying to teach someone something new is super hard. So just a little gem to drop, that when you're thinking of your idea and you're building this on your own, try not to create a new approach that requires a learning curve for users, because they will get frustrated, they will leave, and they have no interest in learning something new because there's so much already out there for them to do. So we're going to set up our app, and what's really cool too about you taking this approach, and take this sheet with you if you do it later, is when you sign up, it's our free enterprise account trial for like 2 years. So after this conference, you can delete all the content in there and you can build your own idea. So you have access to this, it is yours. You can actually start building your own product after this session. So to set up the, yeah, go ahead.
Is that only for the Black Tech Week 1 and Black Tech Week 2 template, or is that for all of them?
All the templates are free trial for 2 years. However, the Black Tech Week is our enterprise level plan. The other ones are just very basic and limited. No problem. Good question. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started up and registered. And if you've already done it, great. If not, feel free to follow along so we can spend the time building our mobile app. All right, so once you go to signup.nixcode.io, there's a category list on the side, and at the bottom is Black Tech Week. When you click on it, there's 2 templates. The content is exactly the same within them. It's just that we gave you 2 examples of how to do a user interface. So I'm going to go with Black Tech Week 1. On this side, it's similar, so you want to try it out and look what's in there. You can do that too, but if not, just hit start with this template. Here's where you'll give it a name. I'm just going to call mine Sid BTW Demo. Registration is pretty easy. I'm going to select the industry. I'm going to say education and training. All right, and then get started. What's really cool too about Nixcode is it's going to ask you a little bit about what the app you're building is, so it can recommend additional plugins and tools and some tasks for you to do in case you've never built a plugin before. That is something that, just to help people who are very new to no code or product development. Okay, maxing up the Wi-Fi is running slow. All right, so I'm going to choose this to be social media and networking, because that is my goal, is to create something for people to network with. It's going to take me directly to my control panel. Once I get in there, we're going to just set up a few things. I've built maybe like 80-85% of the app. We're going to do the last 10 to 15% of the app, just so you can get some hands-on experience. And at that time, feel free to ask me questions or have me go back and recap things. Looks like we're doing pretty good on time. All right, so the first thing is, after you get signed up, is we want to import some users in the app ready to go. I already have some default things ready for you. If you click the Black Tech Week button on the side panel, it'll open up a web page for you, and it'll just take you to Black Tech Week the Nix Code page. This is where you'll also find the recording from today as well, and then of course the presentation copy of the slide deck, the one sheet you have, all that will be right in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and click user import, and it's gonna allow me to basically, it's gonna send me the download so I can import my users, so we already have them ready to go with their tags, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so it's downloaded, and to do so, now that I have my users imported, I'm gonna go to users, user management, and then import users. I'm gonna repeat that again. From the Black Tech Week site on nixcodeapps.com, I'm gonna click user import. It's gonna download this CSV file. I'll go back to my control panel and go to users, user management, and then click import user. Yeah. No problem. It has a person with a gear on it. It's the first option in the users, and I think there's also a screenshot on the one sheet too. Yep, you're welcome. All right, so I have my import users. I'm going to load in my file, and then it is populated with my users. By default, they have some dummy emails, passwords, all password. So now I have users, and they all have tags, means they've all completed a registration. I want to take you to what that looks like. Yeah. You may have to turn, if you're on your phone, turn it landscape and try to scroll through if you can. Okay. It can be a little hard to do it on the phone, so I apologize. So want to show you kind of what that login looks like. So although we imported users, this is what it looks like from that experience. You should have a profile picture. They'll tell a name, create an email, password, and we'll ask them, who are you? Are you an investor or a founder? They can pick industry focus. We just picked 5 to test out for today. And then are you seeking a co-founder? And then accepting the terms of registration. So that's how we actually got the user information and what we're basing this on. So we have users in our app now. One thing we want to do is we want to start dripping out content to users through the week. We've already been through Monday's session, Tuesdays, some of Wednesdays, and we still have Thursday to go. So what I want to do is click on the calendar here at the bottom, and it's going to pull up our schedule. This is not real information about the conference. This is just dummy data. But let's say Monday is all good. It's happened. This content is live. Tuesday has already happened. The content is live. Wednesday, let's say that we're here. This is live. But let's say Power of Influence has not happened yet. So for our virtual attendees, we're going to restrict it. Sorry, let me go back here. Yeah. Yeah, we're probably all on the Wi-Fi. You set it up. So sorry about that. I know the Wi-Fi is like, what is y'all doing in here? So yeah, Wednesday here on the control panel, Wednesday, July 20th, I'm going to click this small pencil button here. This is called a time release content. So this is great if you want to show that something's happening, but people can't access it till it becomes available. So that's really great if it hasn't gone live yet, if you will. So I click the pencil button and the Power of Influence. I'm gonna click that pencil button, and I'm gonna say, don't make this feature accessible until today, which is the 20th. Now let's say not until 2:30 p.m. And that's that, and then I'll hit save. And then I'll hit save again, and now it went dim. You can see that it's there on the day, but you can't access it until 2:30. It will become available for viewers. Yes. We are on the schedule. We hit the calendar button here at the bottom of the nav menu. Yep. So I'm gonna recap the process again. Yep. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna go through it. We got time. I can go through it once or twice. All right. So I'm gonna go to the calendar here, and it takes me to schedule. I'm going to then, I'm gonna do an example for Thursday now. I'm gonna hit the Thursday. There's a pencil, so it has add categories in my control panel. I'm gonna click the pencil. And then from seed to IPO, I'm gonna click that pencil. That means to edit. And then I'm gonna just set the start date for tomorrow, Thursday. And let's say it's at 10, and put 10 a.m. session. And then I just hit save and save. So Thursday it's dimmed out. And I could repeat this for all of Thursday. So I would still in the same schedule, plug in. I'm gonna go Thursday, hit the pencil. Managing the media, hit the pencil. And I'm gonna do for tomorrow, the 21st, I'll make this one at 1:26 p.m. and hit save, save. The last one of Thursday, and for a week, I'm gonna go to Thursday, July 21, hit the pencil. Manufacturing tech today, hit the pencil. Start date tomorrow, let's say it's a 3:30 p.m. And then I'm gonna hit save and save. So Thursday's not available yet altogether because it has not happened yet. But when the time comes, it's automated. It will open up for people to watch the session when it occurs. And we also did one for Wednesday. The emulator on the side, you can actually interact with that for the user experience, while the other side here is more of your control panel as an administrator to modify the settings. Yeah. Yeah.
So I've set up my demo, which I don't have Black Tech Week. Should I have that there as a place where I go to get Black Tech Week's schedule on that side, or is that just
You picked a Black Tech Week template? Okay. You need to pick a Black Tech Week template. So on the sheet, you'll go to categories, and when you do the sign up page, it'll say Black Tech Week, and then you'll pick Black Tech Week 1 or 2. Yep, no problem. All right. So we did that part. So you have a drip schedule now. So that's one thing done. So now let's say though the user says, okay, I actually just want to see someone's specific session. And their first approach is, I'm gonna go to the speakers. We're gonna click this one that looks like a blowhorn here at the bottom. I'm gonna click on that. So it takes me to speakers. Okay. We'll just do the first one here in the list. And all I did was click on it. So I'm gonna go back from my home screen. It doesn't matter which template you're on, the navigation is the same. I'm gonna click the blowhorn, and I'm gonna click on the first speaker. What I wanna do is someone wants to specifically see him speak. This is like building a directory app pretty much. I want to just see his session. I don't wanna, go through all the weeks and the agendas. I just wanna see what he did. What we're gonna do is scroll down on our control panel side. And we have links. It says add contact information. One thing about some app builders, they have default language terms. Don't feel like you have to conform to that. It could say anything. I'm gonna use it for a button because I see that, not the user. So I'm gonna hit add contact information, and it's gonna allow me to choose some app content. I'm gonna go find his session. It has his picture on it right here, applying to acceptance. I can also just type in apply, here we go, and it helps filter it out as well. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and repeat it again. So I'm gonna click on the blowhorn. Let me go back home. Blowhorn for my speakers. And I'm gonna click on the first one in the list. I'm gonna scroll down and hit add contact information. And then I'm going to select his session and the action button text. I'm gonna leave it as is and hit save. And then I'm gonna hit save again. Now, if you go to his name, it has this contact. And it will pull up his session. Now you notice the button says contact. That's not exactly what we wanna do. So to change that, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna hit this back button in the screen. And then I'm gonna go to my settings. So I'm back on the home page where it has a list of my people. and just go to settings. And it says contact button text. I'm gonna change it from contact to session. I'm gonna change it to watch session. We wanna be very specific on what we want the user to do. You may be like, what does that mean? So it's really cool, you build a product. Don't assume the user knows what to do. So tell them, we're gonna watch something, click something, call something. So watch session. So let's take a look at what that looks like now. I click on it, now it says watch session. And all the sessions he's done, I can have those connected right there. So far, so good? Yeah, absolutely, love to. I'm gonna do it with the new person. So I'm gonna go back to my home screen. Click on the blowhorn next to the home button. I'm gonna go to the next person on the list. We'll do that one for example. When I click on him, it brings me to his profile. I'm gonna click add contact information. And then I'm gonna find him. He is reach for milestones. And I'm just kind of looking to see his image to match it up. I'm gonna keep the action button text the same, hit save. Then I have to hit save again. Okay. If you have not changed your contact button yet, it's in the settings of the speakers plugin. And the contact button text, I just typed in watch session and it auto saves. So now when I go and click on George's session, it has it right here. So that when a user clicks on it, I'll go ahead and log in or register. Then people can watch it. So I'm gonna register on the app so that you can see me navigate it, you know, like a user would. So now I'm gonna sign up myself. I'm a founder. I'm gonna do EdTech because that's the only thing we've set up to do is EdTech. My Seeking co-founder, I'm gonna put yes. And I'll check the acceptance and register. And then now I'm able to watch a session. Of course, all these just have a demo video in there. In the video, I talk about what this plugin does and how it works, but it's really great if you have courses or sessions. It'll timestamp the video so you can fast forward to it and take notes at that part in the video. So it's really great as a conference app for Black Tech Week. If they repurpose the videos, they could then have people bookmark sessions so you can have your favorites. You could also take notes on the full session or take notes on the specific areas of that person's speech. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my home screen because we've now connected our speaker sessions, for example, 2 people, and we changed our CTA language. We have our app set up. We have the essentials, okay? So we got one more project to do, and this is where we're gonna build a investor to founder relationship builder. So let's say Black Tech Week wants to actually help people build a connection. We're gonna specifically just work with EdTech only. So let's say EdTech investors want to find EdTech founders. EdTech founders want to find other EdTech founders. And EdTech founders who are seeking EdTech co-founders want to build a relationship. So maybe you're looking for a technical co-founder or maybe a more business co-founder if you're already technical. That's what we're gonna build is this relationship to find matches, and you have this private community where people have the same intention. We're gonna do this with our Connections Match plugin. It's already been set up, the questions are in there, it's already been scored. I just wanna show you how to make the connection and build that piece. So, we're gonna go back to our app, and I want you to go to the side, App Components, My Features. So in the control panel, under home screen is App Components, My Features. You can find it by typing the text in the search box, or you see it right here called Connections Match. When you click on it, it will open it up. So it's already scored, and so what we want to do is already connect those connections, which mean is to get to those results, to get to the right group, you have to get a score. And we've already predetermined a score because we assigned it in the questionnaire. Based on how you answer, it gets a number, it does the math, and calculate. Plugin already does all that for you. So if you are an EdTech investor seeking founders, you're a 7. If you're an EdTech founder seeking other EdTech founders, it's 17. And if you're looking for a co-founder in EdTech, it's 16, okay? So what we need to do, though, is start setting up these communities and making sure that those people can access what they need. So what I want you to do is we're gonna just do one example, and then hopefully after this session, practice and do the last 2, okay? So we'll do one. So I'm gonna go to App Components, My Features. And this is what's really cool too about using no code is you don't have to replicate the development. So let's go to Investor Match. When you hover over it, you see this double page blue icon. That means to clone or to copy. We're gonna click that. And I'm gonna call it EdTech Investor Match. Okay. It takes the exact same settings, exact same setup that was already there, and just lets me rename it, and then I could just add a setting or 2 without having to rebuild the whole thing over again. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely. So App Components, My Features. I'm gonna do the Founders Match one because I already did co-founders. So I'm gonna use the double blue button called Clone, and I'm gonna name it EdTech. And then I'm gonna just take the Founders Match piece and be very specific, you know, Founders Match, and then hit Clone. It's just cloning, okay? So I'm gonna go back to, I'm just type in EdTech, because this will shorten where I'm looking for. So EdTech Investor Match. What I wanna do is click on Security. You see I already have people who are tagged with investor or founders can access this, but we need to add one more tag. What do you think it's gonna be? Yes, it's gonna be EdTech. So the tag title, I'm gonna hit a $, and then see if I can, $, profile. Sometimes it'll come up, and it is lagging today. So if you aren't, let me just also try doing this. Here we go. So I just type in some EdTech. I try to get the words going. So it'll put profile industry focus EdTech. Must be applied at least one time, because by default, everybody gets the tag applied once. A tag is like an assignment to someone, it's just identifier. And then you'll hit the plus add tags, okay? So now this is investor founder, and now it's EdTech restricted. Means if you do not have these things and you're like in FemTech or something, you won't even see this, you can't access this. Even if you somehow got there by accident, you don't have the tag, so it will tell you you're in the wrong space. All right, so we got that piece set up. We're gonna go back to App Components, My Features, and then we're gonna hit that Connections Match plugin. And then in the Design tab, or Settings, sorry. It's a little lagging, so sorry about that. Action items. This is where, based on what people do, we give them action items. So I'm gonna hit add action item, and the score for investors to find founders in EdTech is a 7. So when I go to my control panel, I'm gonna put they score between 7 and 7. It means there's no wiggle room. The action link, I'm gonna hit edit action link, and it means based on if I get a 7, where do they go? I want them to go to my EdTech investor match. And I hit save, and that's that. So now when they take this questionnaire and they say that they're in EdTech and that they want to connect with investors, they could see their matches. Or if they wanted to connect with founders, they could see their proper matches. And once we actually have our users uploaded and assigned, they will show up in the directory. Right now it's just me, so you probably won't see much of anything. So I'm gonna do it one more time. I created the EdTech Founders Group. So I'm gonna go to my connections match. Design. It's settings. Action items. And then I'm going to now do 17. It's when EdTech founders want to find other EdTech founders. So 17 and 17. I'm gonna edit the action link to be EdTech. Probably went way too fast for Wi-Fi, but EdTech, then I will link it to that plugin, EdTech Founders, and save. And it's set to go. And then I can keep adding these scores on and just connecting the action item to the group. And I'm gonna just clone it. I'm gonna do the same thing when I do SaaS. I'm gonna just clone the FemTech and just change that security tag from either EdTech, SaaS, FemTech. It's already set to restrict to investors and founders because that's all the user types we have. Except for perhaps if it's finding co-founders, then maybe I'll remove the investor tag. So you can kind of manipulate it in that way using the tags. For that, we have now, added that connection, that relationship for people to find their relationship to people. And so now if you come to the conference and you signed up on the app, now you could actually take a questionnaire and be matched. This is no action item, but I want to show you a few steps further. Once I have that connection match, you're able to then find your communities within the app. So if you don't have a community, then you don't see anything. I actually have to take the survey in order to get access to those communities on demand as I please. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the survey. I'm in EdTech. I want to connect with founders. And yes, I'm seeking a co-founder. Go to matches, see my matches. And then so I'm able to then, I think I reset it. Here I'm able to see all my groups, EdTech investors, EdTech founders that have been placed in. And then it also will apply to my communities. I have to add an override. So I'm gonna show you, you don't have to do this with me, I'm gonna have an override. So override means anytime you wanna build like a private access for people based on you have to have this tag and it will filter what you see. So for this, I'm going to say, as the admin and app owner, I want everyone who is in EdTech to see the groups that they've been matched with going forward, so that you don't have to keep doing the survey over and over. Once you've done it once, you'll always be able to see your matches. It's an override, yep. So by default, it will always show this, but in order to change the default content, you'll clear it an override. Override can be user specific. So let's say it was speakers, they could have had a private portal with all the speaker information based if they had a speaker tag. If you were a founder, it could have been specific to you. If you're an investor, it could be specific to you. I'm gonna refresh because Wi-Fi is a little bit slow in here. But that is essentially the last step of having people kind of continue to build that relationship. Let's see, add override. I wanted to at least show you how to do that. It looks like it's not loading, so I won't waste you guys' time with that. But if you just override and essentially you're going to just add the ed tech tag and it'll say, okay, you have to have this tag to see those groups. Everything else is preset and done within it. So if you took notes on any sessions, users can find it there. Here is, of course, you can start making your connections. If you want to, join the channel and chat, you can say, greeting and socialize, have those components. Users can click on profiles, see each other profiles, follow people, send direct messages, and so forth. And then also, of course, you have the speaker components. If you're on the other template, I think we added merch, we added, swag bags, and sponsors offer digital swag and things to claim. That's an opportunity as well. So what you can do is you have all your users preloaded. If you want to log in with them, you have their credentials. It's under the user management. All the passwords are lowercase passwords, so you can try doing things from a different user perspective. You yourself can register on the app, so you can also see how you can interact on it too. But going home or even through your day, you can actually send this app to your phone. To do so, under the emulator, there's something that says preview. Put in your phone number and hit send. This app will now be sent to your phone and you can install it on your home screen and use it like an app. That is actually a live working web app. You can send it to your friends and say, hey, sign up on the Black Tech Week app, and they can actually sign up. They can actually do all the functionality that we said here. So you actually have something live and use. So this is really great too for validation because you got this completely free. So if you don't have it on the App Store yet, you have to pay for that, but at least you can start sending previews and have a web link to send people to start validating. That is all I have for that. Is there anything I can recap or any questions? I think I can do 2-3 minutes. Yeah. Okay, what's another hand over there? nixcodeapps.com/BTW. At the bottom of the sheet, the URL is there. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. It's cloud-based. Every change is live in real time. Yep, so what's also cool about our platform is you don't need to resubmit it to the App Store if you did go live. Since it's cloud-based, when you hit publish, the users get the changes without needing to run an update. It's live in real time. So it's really good too. So Black Tech Week had like a live session. They don't need to resubmit it. They can just upload it and just hit update and everybody instantly can watch it. Any other questions? Yeah. Huh? Oh, my story. So I'm a developer, and I worked with a lot of non-technical founders, and I got a lot of requests to be people's technical co-founder. People want to offer me equity. It was really busy, and it was just common that they needed help, not beyond even the tech, but their approach to product development. And so that's why NixCode not only helps them build a tool and have something to manage on their own, something they feel like they can be empowered to build, but also to help manage their product development process. So something that's also in our tool is that once you have your app on the App Store, you actually get some trainings, things to view in analytics too, so you can see how your app is performing. And that was really critical to some people's success. I'll also show you one of the things too that help non-technical people manage is having a way to have a dashboard that can say, hey, you need to boost this up, your conversion is low, people are leaving your app. So you can make informed decisions on what you need to change. Because if you've never built an app before, that could be so foreign and new to you. So my way is just hopefully that this product can act as a virtual CTO for a lot of non-technical founders. All right. If nothing else, I'd be glad to stick around and answer a few questions, but please keep your one sheet, use that link to continue to build. Let me stop my recording.